guys, it's Macey
and Ashlee,
and today we're going to be reading spooky stories from Reddit for Halloween. What's today's date?
It's the 23rd.
I was gonna say, by the time this comes out, it'll be the week of Halloween.
So, spooky time.
Spooky season. Oh my gosh. The silence.
I have done absolutely nothing for spooky season.
We watched Five Nights at Freddy's, bro.
Oh, that's true. We did do that.
Literally, like, not even that spooky.
It's all Macey could handle.
For real. Yeah, Ashlee, I think we've talked about this before. I'm gonna go see the second one with her, but I haven't seen the first. So I watched that with her. It was pretty good. I don't know. I'm also like not really into Five Nights at Freddy's, so I didn't really understand anything, and she had to fill me in on like the most random lore after.
It's very interesting explaining FNAF lore to like a non-fan, because then you realize just how insane it sounds. And
yeah.
And I didn't even like explain like any like of the extremely crazy stuff. That was like bare bones.
It was still crazy.
Base lore.
And honestly, all the characters in that movie pissing me off. This is why I can't watch horror movies. Not just because they're scary, but because these characters are so freaking stupid. Tell me why. You know, I'm not even getting into it. Just the decision making in this movie, insane.
They're all so stupid.
I genuinely, what?
You know what? It's truly an achievement that they all survived after all the stupid decisions they made.
Literally, if I was the main character, the movie would not be made.
No, literally.
As soon as I see that
pull up and see what it's like, I'm leaving.
Literally, unless I get a coworker to be there with me, I'm not going alone.
I low-key would have heard, no, like night shift would have been fine. And then I pull up and see what the building looks like.
Not the room, just getting so insanely dark. Guys, the sun just went behind the clouds. I'm not even kidding. It literally...
It was right insane. In the mic.
Yeah. Do you have anything? I don't even know what to say.
Do you have anything?
There is also no video for this episode.
I'm sorry.
It's just a lot right now, guys. Don't worry. Well,
at least you're getting an episode, okay?
Literally.
We're giving you
just don't
something.
Get to see our beautiful faces.
Truly a loss, I know.
No, I look like crap right now.
Anyway, do you have anything to share? Anything new?
I feel like there was a lot I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember. This is how it always is. I just need to write stuff down.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen Tron. Like, that's gonna be 5 weeks, and we're still not gonna have seen the Tron movie. Listen, at this point, I'm gonna go alone. I told Mom, because Mom was like, well, it's just like kind of pricier, and I was like, I will pay for my own ticket. I have no issue doing that.
Why don't we just go on? Whatever, man.
Literally, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see it, because I need to see Evan Peters
on the big screen.
Literally, dude, I'm the biggest simp ever. I'm not even ashamed to say it.
And you're real for that.
Okay, you know how we were just talking? I don't even know. I don't remember what we say on the podcast and what we say after.
Because we yap so much.
But, you know how I was talking to you about that one, like, picture? I was like, have you seen it? And you were like, oh, it's the one. I need to find it. It's the one where he's, like, reaching over like a desk or something. I think he's, like... It's Tony Stark core, I'm guessing, like putting her arms into something to control. That's what it looked like. But legit never looked hotter. Like, I need to see this movie. Also, like, it's Tron.
You're real
I need
for
to see
that.
what this is about. Yeah, I'm not just a simp. I do want to see this movie for other reasons, but that is the main reason at this point. So...
It's like when people like went to go see Twisters just because of Glenn Powell.
Oh, and valid, I fear. Twisters is a good movie, though.
I want to rewatch that movie.
Yeah, same.
It's really good.
Really good movie theater movie.
Mm-hmm.
That and F1 are probably, like, some of the best experiences I've had in the theater.
Dude, seeing Twisters was, like, a top-tier experience. Especially since we were in the back. And we got to put our feet up.
Row. Now every time I go, though, all the back seats are taken.
Everyone's catching on.
Me off. I love the back row.
It's so nice. I don't know. I just love when people don't sit in front of me so I can put my feet up.
low-key, I mean, yes, but also, sorry, why is my mic quieter than yours? I'm literally so close to the mic right now.
I feel like I'm really close to the mic.
It's pissing me off because yours is normal and mine's whatever.
They should get to hear me more anyways.
Okay. Also, Ashley finished the Bad Batch book. I still haven't.
I did. I finished it today, and it was absolutely amazing. So you need to finish it so we can talk about it.
I hopefully by the next time we record, I will have it.
It is so freaking good. Like, amazing. I genuinely cannot express how much I love this book.
Slay.
As soon as I finished it, I was so sad. There is this one specific moment that I want to talk to you about. Well, there's a lot that I want to talk to you about. But there's this one specific moment that I really, really want to talk to you about.
Okay.
That when I was reading it, I literally, like...
Bro had spasms.
Yeah, and I was reading it in public, too. I was, like, trying not...
I'm just picturing you, like, tweaking out.
No, I was trying not to tweak out. Because I was literally in a library, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to hurry and read it. I was telling Ashley that we've talked about this book a lot. But this book low-key making me like Hunter low-key's my favorite character right now. I swear I love them all so much. I've always said Tech has been my favorite, but I also defend Hunter's every action. Like, I literally could write essays on this man. And this book is finally giving him the attention he deserves.
Oh,
and it's making me obsessed.
It is so good. It is the stuff I wish we gotten more of. It's like, as a Hunter fan, we're finally getting something. And it gets even better the more, like, the book progresses. Peak.
Yeah, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Also, I know I bring this up every time, but I also edit the podcast. Guys, I'm so sick of myself. I say like so much. And then I was thinking about it, and because I'm always like, I'm going to make an effort to really just listen to what I'm saying, like I'm doing right now, and try not to use the word like. And I actually saw a video on this where the girl was saying how just to be really, I can't even think of a word. Because you're using like as adjectives all the time. So again, I can't even think of an adjective to describe, but just being really conscious about what you're saying. And even if that means you're talking slower. And she showed examples of people, like celebrities, doing interviews. And she was like, but honestly, I feel like for me, and honestly for me too, this is actually bothering me so bad. Because I feel like you're just staring at me.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Anyway.
I'm not staring at you, bro.
It's just because I feel embarrassed. I put on the spot. But
I do the same thing.
She was saying how she uses like because she's always worried about being interrupted. And I feel like that's kind of where it stems from. And I feel like a lot of people can probably relate. But just, I feel the need to get all my words out. And if I can't think of a word, I'm worried about someone cutting in. So I just say like. And it's just become a habit at this point.
That's real.
So I'm going to try and do better about that. But please, like, I just did it again. I'm so sorry. For everything. I'm just kidding. Just leaves the podcast. I'm like, Ashley's taking over. Girl, you good?
I'm just imagining you just like leaving
and just
closing the door. Guys, this is my formal goodbye.
Also, on the topic of like, we've been talking about brain rot lately and how insane it is. Like, we just had a conversation before recording about Group 7 and what that meant because I just heard about it the other day. And the fact that you have to Google all this lore just to understand something, like 6-7, the fact that it took me weeks and I still don't even know where it came from. But then I saw a thing, and I actually like wrote it down because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, of someone saying, in our minds, our brain rot may not have been that bad, but they wrote down some of them. These are worse than I remember. Like, I genuinely blocked some of these out. Okay, Do you remember when we used to say, like, sheesh?
I just had war flashbacks.
I blocked that one out, but
That
someone
one was
commented
bad.
it. Do you remember? This one's bad. Do you remember the, like, can I get a Hoya one?
That one was a dark time, dude. Because that's all you would hear. Ew, I forgot about that.
And then this one, not as bad, but yeet. Like,
So you're saying we were just 100 times more annoying.
that's... Okay,
I cannot imagine being teachers when we were kids, dude. Because once one kid does it, everyone did. So you're just hearing echoes of...
But, I mean, that kind of is with 6-7, too, I feel like. 6-7 is bad, but the more I kept looking at these, the more I was like, okay.
6-7 is tolerable compared to these, I feel like.
Yeah. Can I get a... and then, the random moaning. I don't know if this is still a thing, because I'm not in school anymore, but...
It's very much still a thing.
Very much middle school, I feel, is the worst. It's bad. It needs to stop.
It's annoying.
What else? Those were the ones that I mainly saw, and I was like, oh, these are bad. Genuinely blocked them out. Because when I think of our brain rot, I think of things like, I don't know, like bussin', slay. But those are just words. Like, these deserve prison. Like, if you said these, you deserve jail time. I just remember being at that cousin sleepover, and all our cousins would say was, can I get away? Like, over and over and over again.
Over and over again.
Oh, it was bad.
Our grandparents probably wanted to kill us, dude. Because every, 10 minutes, just starts another chain.
Also, have they started a new... Because you know how we had dabbing and the whip and nae?
Mm-hmm.
And then we had flossing in, 2020-ish. Have they had a new thing like that yet?
No.
I fear for when the time comes what it's going to look like.
Me too. Hopefully I'm out of school by then.
I'm going to come out and say it. Flossing is not that bad, guys.
No, you know what's worse?
Genuinely is not.
Dabbing.
Dabbing gives me the ick.
Massive ick. You know the last one that was like that? I think it was the gritty.
How do you remember what the gritty looks like?
Okay, unk.
Explain it to me. Just...
How do I explain the gritty, dude?
Just, I would explain flossing, moving your waist and arms.
I genuinely don't know how to explain it.
Well, it's gonna bother me. I don't remember what
we
it looks
can
like.
look up a video later.
Okay,
so I can explain to freaking Unc over here.
I need to stop. I was there when it was a thing. I just don't remember what it looks like. No,
her memory's getting bad in her old age.
Okay. I need to stop. We're not as funny as we used to be.
Dang.
No, you are. I'm saying...
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, way to dampen the mood.
Sorry. No, I'm just saying, if it was younger me, I would have snapped back with something so good. But all I have to say was, this needs to stop.
This needs to stop.
Really be acting unk, bro. No. Back to what I was saying. I'm just kidding. The flossing is not that bad. Can it be cringe? Yeah. But when people, when I see someone flossing, I don't automatically think I'm going to run myself over because I just witnessed the most heinous thing.
Really?
I genuinely don't.
Dude, when we watch the Sonic movies and he starts freaking flossing, I want to shut the movie off.
I mean, yeah, but he's also a kid.
I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. When I
His first time on Earth and that's what he picked up.
When I see kids doing, flossing, it's whatever. If I see a freaking teenager and older doing flossing, that's when I'm literally locking you up.
No, when I see a kid flossing... No.
Let them be kids.
Do something else.
Same with, if I saw a 4-year-old dabbing, I'd be like, okay. Because, you know what? You don't know better. If I'm
They should know better, and I'm going to teach them.
A 16-year-old dabbing? Honey. Not to, judge all... I mean, kind of.
No, I'm going to judge you.
Even, and listen, I understand...
And you're asking for it at that point.
I understand doing things for ironic purposes and making fun of it, but I feel like even you can't do that with the dab. I feel like you can try and it will just not work.
Nope. I can't even make myself do the dab, dude, because I'm going to, cringe myself out halfway.
Ew, I don't even know what it is about it, bro.
It's so icky.
What about the whip and nay? No one's hit that in a while.
That was not even bad. That was not. That was fine.
I don't know. Okay, we've been yapping. We need to lock in. So, okay, before we get into the stories, we obviously we're not gonna have read them before, so we don't know how scary they are. If you're easily scared, I would maybe test the waters with like the first story, and if you don't like it, then maybe skip this episode.
You have my full permission to back out.
Yeah, because like, okay, I'm not a horror movie person at all. Like, I genuinely cannot watch a horror movie. I will freak the frick out, and I think it's because of the jump scares. I love a good scary story though.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually fine for me.
I'm the weirdo who likes being scared. And when a jump scare doesn't get me bad enough, I'll turn off all the lights and then turn the volume up.
Cool. So you're psychotic. Just kidding. No, not.
Dude, last time though, when I listened to scary stories, I turned my light off for one of them. Turn that sucker right back on. Mind you, the entire house is also dark and everyone's asleep. And so I turned my light off, pitch black, listened to one story. I'm like, yeah, we're going to turn
Yeah. I don't know. Reddit can be pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, well, because they have the whole, like, no sleep thread, which I'm terrified to look into. But there are some that are, like, kind of confessions where people just hurry and write down, like, something scary that happened to them. Maybe those won't be as bad. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Me and Ashley, we talked about this before, but we listened to this one podcast, Unsolicited Advice.
Shout out.
Yeah, and they do.
I know they'll appreciate a shout out from a podcast.
They're
like
really niche. They're really small guys. We're supporting them. They do an October series where they just read submissions of scary stories all month, and that's really, really fun. What We Said is also a podcast that I don't think Ashley listens too much anymore, but I still listen to.
Not really.
They do scary stories as well. They do... Okay, one more thing, and then we'll get on topic. I was listening to What We Said, and they were talking about how they went thrifting, and all the checkouts were self-checkouts, so they had to, like, bag everything themselves, scan everything, whatever. And they were saying how every store is turning into that, and we're losing social interaction to an insane level. And they were also saying, like, I'm literally a worker. Like, I'm becoming a thrift store worker but not getting paid to do it. Like, not only are you stealing jobs from people, but by doing so, we're losing the the social interaction aspect. Because they're saying, like, I feel like on a day-to-day, humans, even if it's just that one little thing with the bagger or cashier, just that one, like, hi, how are you? You need that. And if you're not getting that, well, look at us now. Like, we're turning into... Are you listening to anything I'm saying?
Yes, I am.
Well, at least you guys are. If Ashley isn't.
I am, I promise.
Hopefully. But yeah, it got me thinking, and it kind of scared the crap out of me. So, It's really sad, actually, as well. But anyway.
Dude, guess what I said in class today?
What?
I said sleeping and beauty. That's what I said.
I don't even know why that's so funny. Sleeping and beauty.
It was embarrassing, too. And then my friend's like, sleeping and beauty. I'm like,
listen, bro.
leave me alone.
Yeah, that's... It's because of the AI. It's because of the robots. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I have something to tell you.
Hey.
I've actually been AI this entire time.
Cool.
I'm too stupid for that. Let's be for real.
Trust me, AI cannot come up with half the crap you'd be spouting off, bro. Okay, we're gonna move on. I said the warning. Yeah. Okay, Ashley's gonna go first, and I'm actually genuinely scared. So, go ahead.
I love how you said, just test the waters, and this one might be really bad.
No, literally, she got one from No Sleep, and this one is like, I've heard things about it.
So, buckle up, I guess, is my advice.
I just don't want it to be, like, gory. I cannot stand those. I love a good ghost story. I cannot stand the ones that are, like, brutal.
I'm not gonna say the title, though. I don't want to spoil it.
I know, some of these are very spoilery.
I'm like, hey, well, thank you. My brightness is up so high. The heck?
The heck?
The heck? Anyway, okay. I really hope it's not gory either. I don't like gore. It icks me out.
What did the reply say?
They just said it was good.
Oh, useless.
So we'll see how it goes. Don't refresh, please. Scrolled up too high. Okay. There's an unspoken rule in the mountains that no matter who you are... Lovely! 2 seconds in, my voice is cracking. Friend, bitter rival, stranger, anyone, if you're in a pinch and come across another hunter's cabin, you're welcome to seek shelter there. Maybe it's unspoken because it's common courtesy and that whole do unto others thing, or maybe it's unspoken because there's hardly anyone to speak to. In the winter months, especially, you'd be hard-pressed to see another soul for weeks, sometimes months. But that's the rule. You need it, use it. No judgment, no questions asked. Just don't steal anything. Now, I'm not a burly, seasoned mountain man that flosses with tree bark and never shaves, but I do like to hunt. I often leave my small Alaskan village for weeks at a time and take to my hunting lodge up in the mountains. I'm a fairly cautious guy, and I know the mountains can be traitorous, so when I leave prepared. I check the long-term forecast, gather the necessary supplies, bring backups, and make sure I've got enough of everything I need to survive at least a week longer than I plan on staying, just in case. Who is doing this? Go home. I always believed my precautions would protect me, but like a child's security blanket, they were only a paper-thin illusion of safety. There's no planning when Mother Nature decides she's in a mood.
You know what your first mistake is?
Doing any of this?
Yeah.
Most horror stories.
Literally me watching Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's why I never expected to get caught in a blizzard that day. It had started out sunny and cold, but as the day progressed, a few clouds formed. By the time they'd amassed into a heavy cloud covering, I was already on my way back to my cabin with a couple hairs hanging over my shoulders. I named them dinner and breakfast.
My brother.
Real.
You thought...
I was planning on eating breakfast for dinner and dinner for breakfast.
Such a good
Who is this guy?
Pack it up.
If only to make myself laugh. It's the little things like that that keeps the solitude from turning into loneliness.
It's something.
The snowfall seemed to come out of nowhere, like someone had knocked an awning shut and all the snow collected on top had fallen at once. Except it wasn't a single tidal wave of snow. It was relentless, unending assault. Last I checked, the weather reports hadn't mentioned a blizzard, and yet a blizzard was what I found myself walking through. It got very dark, very fast, and I kicked myself for leaving my flashlight back at my lodge.
Of course you did, you moron.
I had planned on coming home long before nightfall, so I hadn't thought I'd needed it. I'd been sorely mistaken. Snow prickled painfully as it darted into my eyes. I had to squint almost all the way to keep those sub-zero jerks from stabbing me blind. The wind howled as gales cut through my clothes and right to my bones. Can you stop laughing, please?
It's just the writing. I'm sorry.
I could barely see 2 feet in front of me and couldn't see the 2 feet beneath me.
You know, at least it's lightening the mood a little bit.
As they sank in an ever-growing blanket of white. I'm not sure when I realized I was lost. At some point, I knew I should have arrived at my cabin, but all I saw was white with a few slivers of gray swaying in the thick breeze. The hairs at the back of my neck became stiff and battered against me.
You're talking about the rabbits, right?
That's how it's spelled.
Okay. I couldn't tell if he meant like the hair was like standing up or something.
With every puff of air and every awkward crashing footfall, I was running out of energy, running out of ideas, and beginning to panic. I could have spun around in a computer chair 100 times and felt less disoriented than I did in that whiteout. And then I walked right into a cabin. Literally. It had become so dark and the snow had become so heavy that I couldn't see the structure until I stumbled face first into it. I held my hands against the wooden facade so I wouldn't lose it in the storm and circled around until I found a door. I wasn't just in a pinch. This was life or death. In the unlikely event someone was inside, I knocked on the door and waited for an answer. Through the howling wind, I could have sworn I heard, "Come in." As I swung open the door and stepped inside, a small avalanche of snow tumbled in with me. I didn't bother trying to kick it out as I fought against the wind to close the door behind me.
You're destroying property.
The relief was instantaneous. Without the air whipping at me, I'd put a stop to the timer ticking down to my freezing death. "Thanks," I whispered. I'm not whispering. Thanks.
Who's gonna hear you, bud?
I turned towards the inside of the cabin and tried to get my bearings, but all I saw was blackness, which meant I had no real way of gauging the size of the cabin. Yeah, I'd circled around it, but I had been stumbling around, half blind, focused on trying to find a doorknob, so I had no idea what length of the cabin I'd covered. I could have walked half of it, I could have circled around 3 times without realizing it. Through the darkness, all I could see was the vague outline of someone sitting in the corner. "You're a real lifesaver," I said. He didn't answer. I pawed around for a lighter, a lantern, a matchbook, anything that might emit light, but all my fingertips touched were chains and the barrels of hunting rifles. I'd stopped poking around when I felt an open bear trap. Wouldn't want my arm to get caught in one of those. It was safer to sit still and wait for daybreak. It occurred to me the stranger might have been seeking refuge as well. "So," I started, keeping my tone light and innocent, "you the owner of the cabin?" The answer was more of a hiss than a word. But in that hiss, I heard a faint, "Yes."
Get out of there.
I sat on the floor, let my hairs down beside me, and reached into my pack. Why I had taken a sleeping bag with me and not a flashlight was beyond me. I removed my wet clothes and quietly slipped into the sleeping bag to warm up, making conversation as I did. "Thanks again. That blizzard really came out of nowhere." He replied with the slow, labored, wheezing breaths of an elderly man on his deathbed. "Dangerous." "Yeah," I chuckled. "That's an understatement." "Hungry," he exhaled. "You got a fireplace? I've got a couple here, so I'll cook them up. It's the least I can do," I offered. His reply was a drawn-out, like a wolf howling, but without the majestic hum. "No."
What would that sound like?
I genuinely don't know. "Okay, as soon as the blizzard dies down, I'll go gather wood and make us a fire. Can you wait until then?" I saw his silhouette shift slightly. There was a rattle of chains. "No."
Brother.
Again, the oath stretched out into a long, bloated groan. "No. No, yes." The final no morphed strangely into a yes, like someone drastically changing to a much higher note on a flute halfway through a breath.
Ah.
I craned my neck to look at the single window in the cabin. It was pitch black. Pitch white. It was like an afterglow visible against the black backdrop of the wood, yet still inherently dark. I focused on it rather than the rest of the cabin, because it was the only hint of light I could see. "If you don't mind, I'm going to try and catch some shut-eye," I said tiredly. He didn't respond, but that didn't surprise me. Mountain folk don't talk much, even when they come down to town for what few supplies they can't make themselves. I shrugged it off and settled in for the night, but I felt something hard against my side. Sighing, I tossed my hairs back a bit farther and got comfortable. I was exhausted, so it wasn't all that hard for me to drift off despite the wind song playing outside the walls. I hugged myself to my sleeping bag and drifted off.
Am I the one that thinks that you're being stupid? You don't even know what this guy looks like. And you just go to sleep?
I was awoken by a different sound. A weird snapping crunch that made me shoot up in my bed, believing the ceiling was about to collapse under the weight of the snow. I braced myself, but as the sound came again, I realized it wasn't above me, but rather next to me, near my belongings. The silhouette was gone from the corner, and I could hear his deep, raspy breaths accompanying the crunch. "What the hell are you doing?" I snapped. He retreated back to his corner with a rattling of chains. My adrenaline was pumping, but I wasn't even sure why. Something about the stranger put me in a state of near panic. My instincts were telling me to leave, but I couldn't afford it. Whatever this guy was up to, I was safer with him than I was out there in the blizzard.
You sure about that? I'd rather die than be with this guy. What? Chains?
No, literally.
What are the chains?
Ooh, honey, grab one of those hunting rifles.
Literally, it's giving... What's that one ghost from... What's that story? The Christmas one.
A Christmas story?
Oh. Well, someone ghost that has chains on it.
Past?
I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's the ghost of past, guys.
I grabbed my backpack and propped myself against the wall in a seated position, staring at the silhouette, expecting him to make a move. I kept myself awake and alert, never looking away even as the howling wind slowly diminished in strength. Once or twice, I felt my head begin to dip, and my eyes began to shut, but every time I slipped, the faint rattle of chains snapped me back into consciousness. As the blizzard cleared and the sun slowly rose, light began to trickle into the cabin. The scene filtered through in tiny increments, with each layer uncovered by the sun, like a printer slowly spitting out the full picture one line at a time. I wasn't in a cabin. It was a large supply shed.
Oh.
That was maybe 10 to 11 feet long, 7 to 8 feet wide. No idea what that means, but thank you. There was no fireplace, which makes sense for a supply shed. There were tools, traps, and rifles lining every wall. The silhouette in the corner slowly stopped being a silhouette and started being a distinct person. Skinny. No. Gaunt. Pale. No. Ghost white. Man. No corpse. Corpse.
Oh!
I was gutted. He was dead. Not, oh shoot, I died overnight. Sorry about that, dead. Long dead. Long dead. His body was all shriveled and mummified? Is that even the right word for it? He wasn't even wrapped in bandages or anything like that, but his skin was completely dehydrated and stiff. I'm not going into the rest of that description. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up.
There was a stain of age-old blood soaked into the wood beneath him. I followed it by gaze to its origin. His left foot. The bear trap in which it had gotten caught. There was an empty hook on the wall above him with a chain leading to the trap. It was long enough for him to move around, but not enough for him to reach the front door. Or the saw hanging above it.
Okay, so you run out the door then.
My best guess was the trap had fallen on its own while he was out, and at some point he'd done a supply run in the dark and had gotten caught in his own trap. He'd probably died of thirst or something. Look, I'm telling you, he wasn't breathing, he wasn't moving. He was as dead as a doornail, and had been for quite some time. I sat there, reasoning I'd been delirious the night before. The fatigue, the dehydration, the disorientation caused by the blizzard. It made me imagine his voice. Those slow, hissing sounds I thought were replies were just the wind outside. I'd interpreted them wrong because the loneliness had finally gotten to me. The elements had conspired against me to create a living person out of someone who definitely wasn't living. It was a good, logical explanation, and I wish I could say it was true. Except... Oh, sorry, I lost my place. Except, I'm not the one who bit the head off of breakfast.
Ew!
My dry, dirty wood-like fingernails aren't the ones sticking out of the outside of my sleeping bag. I'm not the one who caked the corpse's dry, cracked lips with white fur.
Oh!
I didn't stick around for dinner.
Okay.
Why is there a link with the word dinner?
Ew! That is terrible. And it's honestly your fault for not...
Someone in the reply just said, I don't think he meant any harm. He could have attacked you and he didn't. He definitely helps satiate some hunger, which is good. It's a good thing you got out of there, though. Brother.
What?
One of the replies was, bury the old dead fart.
Okay, well, I didn't like that. But that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Definitely not. I thought it was going to be something way worse.
Okay, I have one. This one is on the No Sleep subreddit as well. It's kind of short, but it's called The Smiling Man. So this is going to be fun. Yeah, I'm scared. Okay.
Wait.
What?
I swear I've heard of that one. Like, not, like, heard the contents, but I've heard the title.
Okay. About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the U.S. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking, this better be a man. No way a woman going out at night in the city alone.
Like, girl.
I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all of that changed in just a few minutes of one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning.
What are we doing out?
Literally. And I was walking near a police patrolled park quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street on my side was the silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance. Sorry.
Was boogieing.
Similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say I'm sorry, I'm picturing this.
Him coming closer.
Wait, how do you do a waltz by yourself?
You just,
we're just schizophrenic.
God forbid a man get jiggy.
I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, you could assume it's like a tweaker or something.
That's not even better. I'm going to be so honest.
I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me by. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still until I can make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. You know what? I'm picturing like the Smile movie, Smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hate that movie.
Ugh,
I think I've mentioned before that was the first horror movie I've ever seen. Or rough one.
Yeah. Maybe just a little bit. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about a half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, so it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time staring at him. And then he started moving towards me again. He took giant, exaggerated tiptoed steps as if he were a cartoon character sneaking. I can't take that seriously.
I can. That's terrifying.
No, I'm picturing the literal like cartoon goof, like Tom and Jerry. Like
yeah,
steps.
that's what I'm picturing. But imagining that with a tall, lanky man in the dark with a cartoonish smile.
Oh yeah, that's horrifying. But anyway, except he was moving very, very quickly.
Oh my God.
I'd like to say at this point, I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or my cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't. I just stood there completely frozen as the smiling man crept towards me. And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling his smile, still looking at the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What the heck do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper.
Real.
Literally. What do you want?
Oh, get away from me.
Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then after what felt like forever, he turned around very slowly and started dance walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go until he was far enough away to be almost out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way. Sorry, I'm like terrified. And this time he was running. I
Say
ran
your
too.
prayers. I'm so serious. If I saw that, I'd be like,
this is my time. I ran until I was off of the side road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that night, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. You think?
Dude, not 6 months. I would have been out there immediately.
Literally. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane, and that's a very, very scary thing to see.
Ew, that one is bad.
I remember when they were on I'm not even making sense. On unsolicited advice, I don't remember who said it, but she was saying that it's easier when you're reading the story. That one was scary, but for some reason it wasn't as scary when I was reading it.
Yeah, that's real.
But I feel like hearing that would...
That's really horrifying. Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining him, like, sprinting at you. Tell my parents I love them. Like...
Literally, that's disgusting. Someone said for some reason I pictured this guy being the Joker. Honestly, yeah.
Please.
Okay, we're gonna read 2 more, and Ashley is gonna go.
Okay.
These ones, by the way, are on No Sleep. It was like a Reddit,
these are real experiences.
Supposedly. Me just judging everyone. Yeah, these are like submissions from people saying what the scariest experience they've had is.
Okay. So, one of my closest friends growing up lived in a house that was, beyond a reasonable doubt, haunted. The house was definitely somewhere around a century old, or at least now it is, and our town was situated in a very woodsy suburb. He and every member of his family had experiences there. Several of our friends had their own experiences there, and I had my own too. What are we still doing there?
I was about to say me when I'm trying to reach the word count on my say.
Honestly, it would be impossible to try to condense it down into one experience, and I believe it's worth sharing the accounts I can remember. I'll start with the least scary one, which was thankfully my own, and then move to the ones worth telling. During high school, my parents went on a vacation, and for a few days I stayed at this particular house of my friend. Let's call him Paul. Just give him the dumbest name of all time.
Cool. All the Pauls out there.
I'm sorry. That's not true. It's not the dumbest name. I stayed in Paul's house. What? I stayed in Paul's room in a sleeping bag on the floor while he slept in his bed. One morning, I woke up to someone whispering in my ear, like directly into my ear, saying my name. You need to leave. Now. It did not say this super maliciously, almost more of a warning. It definitely woke me up though, and immediately I'm thinking Paul was messing with me, as he frequently did. But I turned around to my right, where he was sleeping, and realized he was completely out. I said, "What?" to him, thinking he was joking around, and he didn't wake up. He was definitely asleep. It was quiet and still too early for even Paul's parents to be up. Then it hit me, as it still hits me today. I heard the whisper in my left ear, and Paul was on my right. Paul had other experiences in that same room, a few I can remember off the top of my head. For a time, he told me he suffered from sleep paralysis on a consistent basis.
You know, and all of the, I would call me and Ashley experts on scary stories because we literally listen to them every year. On all of this, like paranormal ones, they always are saying how much they have sleep paralysis.
Move out of the room.
And then literally when they move out of the house or room, they don't
instantly.
have it.
Like, consistently, I would lose my crap.
So yeah, if you have sleep paralysis, that's not what I'm saying. But just like, that's a commentary. I've had sleep paralysis before. And my house is not haunted. So.
Didn't know that.
She's like, I have something to say.
Please. Okay. He would see demons in his room and would be unable to move. He told me that very frequently in his sleep. The standing fan by his bed would become a demon girl, and he would...
Sorry.
And he would wake up with a jolt of adrenaline, having punched or thrown the fan down to the ground. Okay.
Gosh.
First fighting them. No wonder they're bugging Paul, dude. He's throwing ants. He told me he would sometimes see someone standing in the closet, his bed faced, both asleep and awake. Oddly enough, his sleep paralysis significantly decreased as soon as he moved out of that place.
What do you know?
Dog. That floor, the second floor, where Paul, his parents, and 2 of his 4 sisters slept, was spooky. I remember getting weird feelings up there. One of his sisters claimed to see the ghost of a little boy in their bathroom. His mom once opened the closet in her bedroom to find the same little boy standing in there, looking up at her and asking for his mom.
It's always the little boys.
I heard about that one when I was in middle school, and it always creeped me out. It's always scarier when the adults see them, too.
Yeah.
That's true. Because, with kids, you're like, yeah, sure, honey, whatever. But adults,
And you know what? I was going to say, how dare the parents for being gaslighters? Like, your child's trying to tell you something, and you're like, you're seeing things. But also, kids make up stuff all the time.
All
so
the
it's
time.
so hard to, actually believe what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Kids have, imaginary friends.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I was a parent and my kid came up and was like, Mom, I'm playing with my friend Barbara, I'd be like, oh, how sweet.
Can you tell Barbara to be nice, please? Before my own experience, I generally thought Paul was just trying to mess with me when he would tell me about these other experiences. Most of our other friends were the same way, thinking Paul was full of crap. Even after my own experience, at times I thought I just as easily could have dreamt it up. But then a few of those same friends, some of my complete non-believers beforehand, had their own experiences, and that changed my whole idea of the house. That's even worse, too.
I was going to say that.
Once people were like, yeah, ghosts don't exist, and they have their own experience,
I literally, what are your stance on ghosts?
I'm literally just talking about this the other day. I'm on the fence. Some things truly cannot be explained. But I'm also
I think, I don't even know how to explain it. When I hear stories, submissions, especially on unsolicited advice, of people telling these stories, I genuinely, believe most of them.
No, yeah.
But for me personally, I think it's honestly just for my mental well-being. I do not believe in that stuff. I think for me, picturing myself in a situation, seeing a ghost, I'm like, well, that can't happen. That doesn't even...
Ghosts aren't real.
Literally.
When it happens to someone else, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Literally 99% of it is just for my mental well-being. But when I hear stories,
Real.
I mean, most stories. Some stories I'm like, can you calm down? For the most part, I'm like, oh. Especially the ones where they're like, I literally do not believe in ghosts.
I'm like, oh. You know when it starts with that, you're like, lovely.
Literally. And I don't think, kind of like what Ashley was saying, I don't think it can just be dumbed down to ooh, spooky ghost. Some things can be explained. There's just, I don't even know. Anyway.
Okay. Once a year, Paul and his family would take a trip and have someone take care of their 2 dogs. One of our mutual friends came over to do just that one day. When she got there that evening to feed the dogs, the house was dark and empty.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm sorry, dogs. For some context, the dogs were being fed near the kitchen, and adjacent to the kitchen was the dining room, which led further away into the entry, and after that a small living room. Sure. While not long after feeding the dogs, she heard a blood-curdling scream. A shriek coming from that living room like someone was inside with her. She booked it outside with the dogs, checked for intruders, and saw no one was there. I'm pretty sure after that she called Paul, told him what happened, and he laughed and said, yeah, crap like that happens sometimes.
Paul?
Paul, buddy.
Yeah, it happened.
Not funny.
Literally do not laugh in my face.
A couple years later, one of the bigger doubters in our group, who thought all of us were full of crap, had his own experience. Paul hosted a fair amount of parties back then. Find someone else. Why is he hosting? And usually we would use his basement to avoid any sort of noise complaints. So all of us were in the basement having a good time, and this particular friend of ours decides to run up and grab another drink from upstairs. Mind you,
Alone?
No, literally. Mind you, this friend is not the kind of guy to get completely effed up. He'll only ever have a beer or 2 at most. So for all intents and purposes, he's sober. He goes up, and the ground floor was completely empty as everyone is in the basement. There was a porch directly outside the dining room / entryway / living room, and it extended long ways across the back of the house. As our friend was walking into the dining room to grab a beer off the table, he sees a tall, grim-looking woman standing on the porch outside, looking through the window directly at him. He knows something is wrong because she's sort of featureless and also standing outside by herself, looking inside. He takes his eyes off her for one moment, looks back, and she's gone.
Ew.
A few days later, he tells Paul what happened, and Paul tells him how he and his siblings have seen that same woman before. Our friend becomes a believer.
Kate, tell me why there's a whole family haunting this house.
We got the whole gang.
Literally, because wasn't there a woman and a little boy and then someone else?
And then there's like 3 other demons browsing at his room. Question, why are all of you fine with this and still living in that house?
Truly.
Yeah, that stuff happens sometimes. What do you mean? Paul. The basement was creepy as heck, but I can only think of one thing that ever happened down there. It was more of a storage cellar than anything. We still used it for parties and just generally hanging out, but it was so cluttered with random crap that whole areas of the room were completely cut off. At some point in college, one summer when I was back home, Paul and his family were doing the annual Throw Old Stuff Away Fest, and he openly invited some friends to come help.
That's a no for me? Why would I want to help you with that?
I came one day, and when I got there, Paul's dad nonchalantly told me, "You get to see the secret room." Turns out that in the far corner of the basement, behind a bunch of clutter, was a little storage closet nobody besides maybe Paul's parents knew about. We investigated it that day, and in it we found a bunch of random old crap. I can't remember everything exactly. I don't even know if Paul's family knew what this stuff was. But among all of it, I specifically remember finding this very old-fashioned vintage music box. Burn it.
Burn it.
You know, like the one in The Conjuring with the dancing ballerina.
Burn it.
That kind of thing. We decided it was creepy and didn't want anything to do with it and left it in the closet. Well, on a different day, while I thankfully was not there, Paul and another friend were cleaning out the basement when suddenly that same music box started playing by itself from behind the door of the closet.
Look, you guys did.
They were alone and had not been in that closet all day. They bolted up the stairs. Not up the stairs, bolted out the house.
Yeah, but
Let's get out of there. At the top of the house, there were 2 small bedrooms, both belonging to Paul's older sisters. This is the last one I will share, as it's the story that stuck with me the longest. The second oldest sister once had a vivid and intense dream in which she herself was being exorcised. A demon was being forced out of her as a group of priests were standing over her convulsing body, shouting bursts at her, and she remembered it just being crazy intense. After enduring this for some time, she suddenly jolts herself awake and yells, and at that precise moment, a rosary she kept hanging on her wall flies from its place, crashes to the floor, and shatters into a bunch of pieces.
excuse me?
Completely on its own. She was covered in sweat and completely terrified. No one else was in the room. What are we still
My
doing
brother.
in that house?
What are we doing there?
I love that this one, not even like a story, like the other's like paragraphs long, right?
Yeah.
This one just says, I heard a loud crash upstairs and went upstairs. The dresser had tipped over. Nobody was up there, and I always keep all the drawers closed. No idea how it could just fall over around like that.
That's actually really... No, that's not good. A dresser?
Hey, buddy, get out of there.
I was laughing at first, but now I'm realizing a dresser? Honey. That one was probably my favorite. That one was the most interesting and honestly the scariest in my opinion. See, I like those stories.
They are way too chill about it, though.
No, for real. I like those stories more than the no sleep ones. I feel like no sleep ones just seem so like crazy outlandish to me that it's not as scary. Whereas those are scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was good. Okay. This one just says backstory. I have first cousins I grew up with that I was really close to. They were the exact same age and grade as my brother and I, who were 2 years apart. So there were 4 of us together, all best friends. When we were young, their grandparents on the other side, not the ones we shared, moved in across the street from them, and that's the house that all of this took place in. Oh, it's like kind of like yours. It's like multiple stories. Okay, first story. When we were really young, me, my brother, and my 2 cousins all distinctly remember playing the exact same game. We all remember it the same way. We called it the Shadow Man game.
What are we doing?
It's giving like little kids playing with Ouija boards.
Real. Like us playing Bloody Mary.
No, absolutely not.
Lovely. We were just asking for it.
My cousin's upstairs bedroom had a large window that faced their grandparents' house across the street, and we could all sit on the top bunk of their bunk bed watching the front porch of the house that had a big brick column, and we would watch... I'm sorry, this is all a run-on sentence, so I'm trying to like...
Commas, sweetheart.
And we would all watch until the shadow man would peek out from behind the brick column, and then we would all hide underneath the covers.
Hi. What?
What?
Huh? And you guys like willingly played that.
Literally what?
What do you mean you hid under the... Imagine the shadow man just like isn't harmful at all.
We're just playing peekaboo.
He's just, no, literally, he's like, he sees all the kids, he's like, here we go again, and then has to peek out.
Wait, it's kind of wholesome. Okay. Again, we all distinctly remember playing the same game, and we all vividly remember legitimately seeing what looked like a shadow man pop his head and sometimes his whole full body out from behind this brick column and stare at us. To us, it wasn't scary or anything like that. Just something we thought was a fun game as kids. Who did you think the shadow man was?
I'm so confused. What do you mean you didn't find it scary at all?
Because your grandma and grandpa are the shadow man, so who's the shadow man?
Just a shadow man. Or it's just a chiller.
They don't say how old. They just say really young. So maybe like 6? Dude. I don't know. Kids can be crazy, so I kind of see that. We were really young when we played this game. I'm guessing maybe 5 or 6.
Okay. Still.
Imagine telling your mom, like parents this.
Hey, Mom, do you mind if me and my cousins go up to our room and play the Shadow Man game? They're like, what do you mean?
Excuse me?
Well, we gotta wait until the Shadow Man, like, peeks out and looks at us, then we gotta dive under the covers. I'd be like, sweetheart, what are we talking about?
The next time I heard anything about the house was when we were in junior high. A lot of his other family members started talking openly about having experiences.
Oh my.
This house was in Illinois, and my cousin's grandparents also had a house in Arizona and would always spend the winter there. When they were in Arizona, a lot of their kids and older grandkids would stay at the house to house sit. Here are some of the secondhand accounts I heard. The oldest cousin, who was mid-20s, avid hunter, manly guy, not really the type to be scared by much. It's the same guy from your story.
Please.
Would always stay there. He would usually sleep in the grandparents' room. He was the first one to say that there was some weird stuff going on in that house. What?
Ow.
Are you good?
I literally went to adjust myself and it popped. What am I, 80?
Ooh. Okay, Unc. I'm just kidding.
Ow.
To say there was some weird stuff going on in the house. He said at night the TV in the bedroom would always turn on around 1 a.m. by itself. The fact that it's a reoccurring thing. He heard a lot of footsteps and things moving, stuff like that. Then one night he said he felt something sit on the bed next to him and then hold him down where he couldn't speak or move throughout the night. In hindsight, sounds a lot like sleep paralysis, but that was the final straw for him sleeping in the bedroom, and he only slept on the couch in the living room after that.
Yeah, that's a big no.
Before he said that, I was gonna say it kind of sounds like sleep paralysis. One time my cousin's aunt stayed in the house. Wait, cousin's aunt. So your aunt. Wait. Okay, sorry. Stayed in the house by herself and went to sleep, and when she woke up, there were tons of sticks and leaves all over the kitchen.
Brother.
She also heard a lot of footsteps and cabinets rattling. Another uncle stayed there once in the bedroom, which had a master bathroom. In the middle of the night, he heard what sounded like a gunshot in the bathroom and got up and ran to see what it was and saw a bar of soap sliding down the wall like it had been flung against there. What?
I'm gonna be so honest. If any of this happened to me, I would literally start crying.
My cousin's dad was an avid non-believer.
Oh my.
And insisted the rest of the family was being ridiculous. Just gaslights them.
Lovely.
He even admitted, though, that one time he had to go over there to grab something from their kitchen when nobody was home, and when he passed through the living room, the TV turned on by itself. Why is the TV always turning on?
Dude, these ghosts obsessed with TV.
We had to cross through the yard of the house to get from my cousin's house to the local pool we all swam at during the summer. One time, one of our friends said to my cousin, "Hey, I don't know your out-of-town cousins were back in town." To which he responded, "They're not." And my other friend went on to tell us about how when we passed through the yard that day, he saw a little girl watching us through the window.
What? What do you mean?
After hearing all the stories from family about the house, we thought... Oh, sorry. The run-on sentences. You need commas, please. We thought it would be fun for all of us guys to stay the night there for my cousin's birthday when we were in 8th grade. This was my first time really being in that house, and we brought a camcorder and wanted to do the whole ghost hunt thing.
Why?
Literally, why? pretty chill for most of the night, but around midnight, we had the recorder off and put away, and we were getting ready to go to sleep on the living room floor, but we're still kind of egging the ghost on a little bit.
Don't go to sleep.
Literally, what are you doing? All of a sudden, there was just light banging sounds from all over the place. The floors, the ceilings, the walls, and it just slowly escalated until they were crazy loud. We all ran out of the house and did not return that night.
Your fault.
Literally, why are you egging the ghost on?
You pissed it off.
We started going back again when we were in high school and had quite a few experiences. Here are some of those. Probably the craziest one was one night when we were talking around the house and heard what sounded like some cabinets closing or opening on their own in the kitchen. We also heard what sounded like a rocking chair being moved across carpet in one of the bedrooms. We had all agreed before we went in that we wouldn't run out. We were going to try and let it play out. The big event of the night happened when we were all sitting in the living room around midnight. A small cabinet with glass doors just started shaking like crazy, and we all ran out to the front yard where we regrouped and decided we could go back in. We sat back down on the couch and said, if it is a ghost, it's probably laughing its butt off at us right now. We then immediately heard the loud laughter of a woman come from the kitchen right off the living room, and then it was just a mad scramble to the door, and we didn't go back that night either.
I'm crying. I went from laughing to literally got chills. That's not funny anymore.
Ooh, I fear these ghosts are kind of trolling you.
They're just messing with you at that point, but it's not funny.
Literally. One experience I had that I particularly didn't like was one night we were sitting in the living room. It's always in the living room.
Dude, go to a different room.
I was wearing a zip-up track jacket. What's that? Oh, never mind, sorry. And we all as a group decided to go hang out in the dining room for a bit. As I got up, somebody grabbed the back of my jacket and yanked down hard. Enough it got me back down to the seat. I thought it was one of my friends not wanting to be last in line, but when I turned around, I was already the last in line. It probably wasn't as scary as the laugh we heard, but it was extra unsettling being singled out. No, that's kind of worse, honestly.
That is so much worse. Because it's like someone like physically.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one. We also brought a couple friends who we told about the house that said they didn't believe in ghosts. We had one stay in the master bedroom by himself.
Oh, and not you sacrificing him.
What?
You don't believe in ghosts? Well, then you're gonna die to one. So,
oh my gosh. And he only lasted about an hour before he came out saying he felt what felt like a hand grab his leg.
Oh.
He went back in again and came running out about another 20 minutes later, saying he saw a large shadow figure walk out of the master bathroom. He was the biggest ghost denier I'd ever met, and after like 2 hours in the house, he was admitting there was something up.
Dude.
Someone said this sounds like a poltergeist type haunting, because they're really trolling you guys.
Yeah, and poltergeists are definitely like the most active. And that one sounds, it also just like, they're messing with you, dude.
This is actually
the laughing is genuinely the worst. Because imagine like being with your friends, and you're like, you know, like kind of messing around. You're like, yeah, they're probably laughing at us right now. And you hear laughing from the other room.
You know what I want to know is, are their grandparents really okay with all these people just coming and staying in their house?
Their grandparents.
What do you mean?
Their grandma and grandpa. Like,
oh, that's true. They don't give two craps. But really, like, the more I kept reading, the more people just kept coming to sleep in. Like, we had full-on strangers sleeping in the grandparents' bed.
Well, they said they didn't stay out there all the time.
Well, yeah, they only stayed there during the summer.
Yeah.
But just imagine...
Their grandparents really didn't care. Like, hey, grandma, can we have a sleepover at your house? Like, sure, honey.
But remember the person writing said that it was their cousin's grandparents. So they don't even know these people.
Yeah, but they said they're good friends with their cousins. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like...
I know what you mean.
Okay, that was so fun. Hopefully you guys weren't too spooked and enjoyed. I feel like this... Because last year we reacted to scary stories that AI wrote. And those were like pretty repetitive, but they were still kind of scary.
Yeah.
But these ones are scarier, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably do this every year. Hopefully we can get to a point where
we can read.
Excuse me. No, I'm just kidding. Submit.
My bad.
Stories. Anything else you want to say?
No. Have you had any?
Have you any?
Have you had any scary experiences of your own?
No, I think the scariest, honestly, would be just sleep paralysis. I had one night.
Which, by the way,
Twice,
Macy
actually.
submitted to Unsolicited Advice and had read on the podcast.
Yeah, it was my sleep paralysis one. That one was terrifying. Not really like any ghostly ones. I'm trying to think of like creepy people encounters, but I can't really think
I can't think of any either. I think literally the scariest one for me is like a dream I had. But for some reason, this one was like years ago. And I remember it wasn't like inherently scary, but it was at our grandparents' house. And we were hanging out like in the street at night. Just cause it was a sleepover and we decided to go outside. And we were like goofing off and I could like see in the hill in the background. And there was a car driving up or something. I remember thinking, like, what the frick are they doing?
Wait, is this dream or real?
Real.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, this...
No, this is real. It's not like a scary anything. I just remember it. And there was a car driving up. The hill's like very back there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, like, what the frick are they doing? Because no one ever drives up there. And we were, like, still goofing off. But I remember getting, like, a really, like, sick feeling.
Ugh.
Like, suddenly it felt like we need to get out of here. And so I remember telling you, I was like, I don't feel good. Like, I think I want to go inside. And so we remember, we,
both of us.
no, I remember, so we went inside because this was like 15 minutes. I just like had a really sick feeling. And I just remember feeling really bad about that car and feeling that we needed to get out and go back inside. And when we came back outside, the car was gone and the feeling was gone too. Like everything was fine again.
Wait, I don't remember this.
It was years ago.
How old?
Not that long.
Okay, like when, like old cousin sleepovers?
Yeah, but like not when I was like a super little kid. Like it was one of our most recent ones.
Were we playing Simon Says? Or was that a different one?
That was a different one. I don't know why we were in the freaking road.
We're always in the road.
We were just chilling. No, but I remember because I never found out like anything about that car. Like I didn't know what they were doing.
Wait, did we all go in? We all went inside?
We all went inside.
Did I just say you weren't feeling good and we all went?
No, I don't remember why we went inside actually.
Did you tell Grandma and Grandpa about this?
No, literally we went because literally 15 minutes where I was like, it's probably fine. But I remember like all those scary stories being like, trust your gut. And I was like,
That's weird. I don't like that.
And I don't like it. I still think about it too. And I was like, I feel like we should go inside.
How come you never told me this?
I don't know, because you were there.
I don't remember.
And I remember telling you about it.
Actually, I have like no memories from cousin sleepovers. Like very few memories.
And we went inside for a little bit and we like ate something. I don't know. And then
Probably ice cream.
Yeah. And then we came back outside. The car was gone. And I was like, I feel fine now.
Wait, what do you mean on the hill? Because no one can drive on that hill, can they? Are you talking about the hill that has the road on it? Or the one even further?
Like the further one.
Like the big rocky one?
Like, you know when we go outside and they're like left, like the one on the right. Not the one on the left.
I'm picturing the hill when you walk out of the house and you are standing literally like straight ahead on the road.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like straight ahead on the road?
We'll talk about this after.
Okay. Like, guys, we don't even know what you're talking about.
I was gonna say that reminded me. This one is kind of the same thing. It's not like scary, but it's still scary. We were at the grocery store, and we were with our cousins, and they have these couches in the lobby area, kind of by like the restaurants, in the deli, and we were waiting for Dairy Queen or something. And it was the guy that was sitting there, and he was, like, asking us questions.
Ew, that was icky.
I think it was in 5th grade, and Ashley was... I don't remember our age gap.
I was in third
grade. And our oldest cousin was with us. She was in, like, middle school. And he was asking us, like, if we lived around here.
Lived around here, what school we went to. where the direction of our house.
Yeah.
And I was like, ew.
Asked us where our parents were.
Yeah, and we were all like evading the questions, obviously, because I'm not answering that.
We all kept looking at each other, like, And this guy was a literally grown man. We were all obvious children, so that's not okay to be asking. I could see if you were literally like an older teenager or adult, whatever, sitting with a fellow older teenager or adult. No, we were literally children.
It's so icky. I remember we kept looking at each other. We gotta get out of here.
We literally, I think we got up and then, because we rode our bikes there, and then we switched. Not a good idea. He could have followed us.
I was literally just thinking, like, he literally could have followed us to our house.
We were idiots. But at least we got home safe. Also, one more thing.
Maybe he's still watching us.
This one isn't.
I think I see eyes over there.
This one isn't scary, but it's funny. It's. Do you remember? Okay, so we used to ride our bikes all over the area with our cousins all the time, and we went over to our elementary school.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly what story you're gonna tell.
And we were like hanging out by the playground. This was after school hours. I think it was in summer actually, and there's like these dumpsters. I don't remember what we were doing. Oh, what were we doing? Oh, these kids, it was these boys, were taking stuff out of the dumpsters and like throwing it out. And didn't we literally tell them like to stop that and then threw it back in?
Yeah.
And they started beefing with us.
Like hardcore beefing.
Literally. Like we got into an argument, and I think one of our cousins said something that maybe he shouldn't have. It wasn't like bad. It was just kind of like a roast or whatever. And we ended it. We rode back home. We keep turning around. These kids are following us. Literally, like, probably a few yards behind us. And I'm getting, like, freaked out, but not like, oh, I'm in danger, but like, they're gonna tattle and my mom's gonna beat us.
Even though we didn't do anything
Literally.
wrong. I know. I remember being like,
I remember feeling like, yeah, I felt sick in the sense that I just didn't want to get in trouble. So we came home, like, locked the door. And I remember we were all telling our mom about what happened. And I think we left out the thing that our cousin said to them. But we were like, yeah, they were like throwing stuff out. We were just trying to be good and put it back in. Next thing you know, we get a knock on the door. These kids knock.
What are we doing?
We answer. I was actually in the bathroom during all this. So do you remember any of this? I was in the bathroom when they came.
Kind of.
But they were basically tattling, and they were like, yeah, these kids were bullying us.
Do we have anything better to do?
Literally.
Like, why'd you follow us home?
It's so weird. And yeah. Anyways, it's really funny. But at the moment, I was like actually kind of freaked out.
I literally have not had any other. I just have like really bad dreams. Like I have the worst nightmare I ever had, and then I had like a really weird one where I like swear I was being possessed. But then I stopped it.
Oh, good. You stopped the possession.
Quite literally. I should like read the dream off or something sometime, because it was genuinely so weird. But I remember there was like a demon or something in my dream, and I just remember
it was Genu.
I wish. No, he like charged after me, and I just remember like turning around and being like, "No, you can't do that." And then he just went away. He gave up.
Awesome.
It was something more profound than that, but I can't.
Well, I know that's still terrifying.
Yeah, I remember telling him like, "No, you can't," and then he stopped.
Actually, I think that's
something was trying to get me.
A common, at least from the stories I've heard about, whether it's a dream, whatever, and they have something charging at them. Like a few people have like screamed like, "Get away!" Like, "Don't touch me," or like some have been like called out to God or whatever, and it immediately stops.
Yeah, dude.
So
something literally something's trying to get me, but I stopped it because I'm too boss like that.
Too boss. Crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna say boring. We're blessed because I did not want to have any scary experiences.
We're blessed. Thank goodness I don't have experiences like that, dude.
Literally. We're jinxing.
Knock on wood. Is this wood or is this fake?
I don't know actually.
Is it a curse if you knock on fake wood?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get into all of it, but my sleep process was basically just, I woke up, but, for those who aren't familiar with sleep paralysis, it's basically when you like wake up too fast, kind of, your brain wakes up sooner than your body does. so your body, because there's this thing when you go to sleep, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's where your body essentially just like locks down. So, because when you're dreaming, like, so you have a nightmare, your body's going to instinctively want to like fight, but your body locks down during sleep, so it doesn't do that. So when your brain wakes up faster than your body does, your body's still frozen, but it instinctively sends a panic response to your brain, which then makes you hallucinate things. And
Lovely.
Literally awesome.
I feel like we do better without that panic thing.
Literally. Some people have it like a lot, like night terrors and everything. I only had it this once, and I saw something that said it's triggered just by like exhaustion or I don't know, a few different things. But I basically like opened my eyes and a really gross feeling, couldn't move my body. And then I was like facing the wall, like on my side, and this like white crusty hand, like picture of Voldemort, literally like crept. That's literally what Unsolicited Advice said was giving Voldemort. Like crept between the crack of my bed in between the wall, like slowly, and just like reached over and touched my arm and was like caressing it. And it would not stop, and it was freaking me out.
Not harassing you.
Literally. And I'm literally like panicking, and you can't move, and I couldn't close my eyes. I was forced to freaking stare at this thing, and it feels like you're in there for hours, but you're really not. And I was just like trying to get my body to wake up. But then I remember reading something saying that if you just like force yourself to calm down, because obviously you're hallucinating because you're afraid. If you force yourself to calm down, it goes away. And eventually it did. But yeah. Luckily, like, because people have sleep paralysis demons, I only got the hand.
I cannot imagine seeing a figure in my
absolutely
room,
not.
dog.
I just remember, like, it was very, like, this is, like, not even the best way to describe it. But you know in movies or shows, when they're, like, panicking or something, the frame, like, kind of closes in on them and it, like, goes dark and you, like, hear, like, your heart beating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it. Like, it just feels like it's so gross. Like, it's disgusting. I hated it. And, like, towards the end of it, I could, like, see the hand, like, creeping out more. I feel like if it lasted longer, it would have been a full creature or whatever.
That's even worse, creeping from the corner. Ew.
Ew, I hated it. Now I'm afraid to go to bed.
It's okay. You just watch, like, a happy movie or something beforehand.
Literally. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. Happy Halloween. Happy spooky season. And we'll see you guys next week.
Boo!